See Devin Booker there with 31 points. Well, they all came in the first half. Booker did not appear in the second half due to a hamstring injury. So 31 in the first half, no free throws either. And his availability now coming squarely into question as he sat out the final 24 minutes of this ballgame. All right, let's break it all down with the coach, Avery Johnson, here to react to what we saw, what we heard. Brandon Ingram simply spectacular in this game, Coach. Felt like this was almost the moment where he stepped up to another echelon with this performance in the playoffs on the road, filling up the box score the way he did in this moment, especially in closing time. How taken back were you by this performance from that young man?
Very special performance, and this is what was painful for Magic Johnson when he had to include Brandon Ingram in the trade for Anthony Davis. You remember back then he was trying to hold on. He was to Brandon Ingram. He was okay with allowing Lonzo Ball because he knew he was going to need some draft capital and some younger players. But Brandon Ingram, you know, this guy is 6'9", very mobile. He can play at all three levels. He was so exceptional tonight. He hit some tough shots. He even hit a line drive three there at the end of the fourth quarter to stifle any of the Phoenix Suns run. So give him credit. When you're playing with other players on the floor like C.J. McCollum that can spread the floor, Alvarado, Herb Jones even contributed from not only just a defensive standpoint, but from an offensive standpoint. But give Brandon Ingram credit. He dominated his matchup tonight and came up with a huge win for the New Orleans Pelicans on the road against the Suns that was without their star player, as you know, in the second half primarily when Devin Booker came up lame with that hamstring injury.
Yeah, let's talk about Devin Booker here because 31 points all coming in the first half, none off of free throws. He was so efficient. It felt like at points in the second quarter he could not miss. Anything that left his hand was going in and not touching rim. And then he doesn't come out for the second half. We get word that it is a hamstring injury. He was not going to appear in the remainder of Game 2. Still got it done with those 31 points. But projecting this series forward, Coach, if Devin Booker's availability is in question, how does that change the complexion of this series?
Well, it significantly changes the complexion of this series because now you're asking Chris Paul, who's 36, 37 years old, towards the tail end of his career to start to hit the reset button and try to carry this team like he did with the New Orleans team back early in his career before he bolted to go to Los Angeles and obviously Oklahoma and now Phoenix. So it would put an enormous amount of pressure on Chris Paul and guys like DeAndre Ayton and Johnson and Mikal Bridges. So it would even the series out somewhat if Devin Booker's not available for a game or two or for the rest of this series, and swing this series, even though they're an 8 seed, a little bit in the New Orleans Pelicans' favor. But it's a little bit easier sometimes when you're the underdog to go on the road, try to steal a game. I think it's going to be very important for the Pelicans, especially with or without Booker in the Suns lineup, to try to make sure that they protect home court in Game 3 in New Orleans and try to take control of this series. But without Devin Booker, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill climb, especially if the Suns play the way they did in the second half, where they were outscored 69-53.
And it felt like we were well on our way to one of those special nights from Devin Armani Booker. Instead, his night is cut short, and we'll see what his series looks like moving forward.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.